What if the world as we know it suddenly changed? Just one parameter, but its alteration would become a real catastrophe. What if the oxygen level in our atmosphere wasn't 21%, but a full 50%? We would forget about the thin red line between life and death. We would find ourselves in a new, painfully familiar world, but only inside out. Our planet would become truly green, alive, and mortally dangerous. Get ready. This will be an incredible journey into a world where every breath is a risk and every fire is the end of the world. Our atmosphere now is a perfect balance. Approximately 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% other gases. This balance is the result of billions of years of evolution. Oxygen is our fuel. It supports our life, but at the same time, it's incredibly active and dangerous. How would the world change if its concentration rose to 50%? We'd see everything begin to change. The first thing you'd notice is the vegetation. Plants need oxygen for respiration, but they use carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. However, with an increase in oxygen, their growth rate would also rise. We would see a real green explosion. Plants would grow at an incredible rate, and the Amazon jungles would expand to unbelievable sizes. Deserts would turn into blooming oases, and even the driest regions would be covered in greenery. The Earth would look like a planet from a sci-fi movie. The second is insects. Think about the giant dragonflies, the Meganeura, that lived 300 million years ago, in an era when there was more oxygen in the atmosphere. With the rise in its concentration, insects would start to grow. Their respiratory system, tracheae, would become more efficient. Beetles, which are now no more than a few centimeters long, would grow dozens of times larger. Spiders the size of dogs, ants the size of cats, dragonflies with a wingspan of up to a meter, all of this would become a reality. Our planet would turn into a kingdom of giants. But there's also a dark side to this scenario: fire. In a world with 50% oxygen, the world becomes incredibly flammable. Any spark is a potential inferno. Even a lightning strike, which might go unnoticed now, would cause a firestorm. Fires would spread at an incredible rate, and it would be nearly impossible to put them out. Our planet would become an arena for an endless battle between lush vegetation and the fiery element. And what about us? Our lungs are used to 21% oxygen. By breathing in twice as much oxygen, we would feel incredible. We would feel a surge of energy, our muscles would work more efficiently, and we would become faster and stronger. Mental activity would also increase. Our thinking would become sharper, and memory would improve. It sounds like paradise, doesn't it? But this paradise wouldn't last long. An increased concentration of oxygen is oxidative stress. Free radicals would begin to form in our cells, destroying DNA. We would start to age faster, our organs would wear out, and diseases related to the cardiovascular system would become a widespread phenomenon. In the end, our bodies simply wouldn't be able to withstand such a load. It's like constantly working at the limit of your abilities. As for technology, everything that runs on combustion would be at risk. Internal combustion engines would become so powerful that they would start to overheat and explode. Cars would accelerate to incredible speeds, but the risk of accidents would also increase dramatically. Our entire industry, from factories to power plants, would have to be rebuilt from scratch. Any spark, any system failure, is a potential catastrophe. What would happen in the long term? The animals and plants that could adapt to the new conditions would survive. Perhaps we would see new species that would breathe oxygen, but their metabolism would be completely different. The Earth would be transformed. The new reality would be dangerous, but at the same time, incredibly beautiful. In this world, giant animals would live, and forests would grow to the sky. So, is 50% oxygen the end? No, it's not the end. It's the beginning of a new, incredibly dangerous chapter. We would see how nature turns our reality inside out. We would become faster and stronger, but also more fragile. We would see a world that becomes more beautiful, but also mortally dangerous. This is a story of how one small number can change everything and how our survival depends on a fragile balance. What do you think? How would you live in a world where every breath is a risk?